André is landing and went to bed. When we are having pit stops, it's not reasonable to make the landing of the friend and our own takeoff the next morning, so I went to bed at 8 o'clock.
And explain to us what happened?
And I followed a little bit on Twitter because we have an incredible multimedia team, so I could follow that. And now André is still in bed, and we'll miss my takeoff. We have to do like that when we have a pit stop. The goal now is to be on mission mode, not on demonstration mode, you know. It's very, very different. But now the flight, today that's really a flight I'm looking for. It's one of the most beautiful landscapes of the world. When you fly over the north of the Gulf of Bengali, you have the delta of the river, have an incredible coast, fly over Bangladesh, arrive to Myanmar, which is a country I love. And I landed there with Breitling Orbiter 2 when I made my second attempt to fly around the world with a balloon. Beautiful welcome, but a failure with a balloon. I hope this time it will be a successful arrival, because that's the goal. The goal is this time to land in Mandalay. And for the mission, a lot of things to do. We have to finish to certify the oxygen system, finish to certify the autopilot, to be completely cleared for the ocean crossings. And there will be some mission training, but very different from the test flight period. So I would say it's quite active. There will be a lot of things to do. And I hope I can enjoy the landscape, and I will not be completely focused on all the time on the task. But I have to make a good flight, also to show that the airplane works and that the pilot works. You know, I'm not a jet fighter pilot, and most of the people in the mission control and the test flight and the safety review board, they are all jet pilots. So sometimes I really have to prove that I'm able to do the things, because I start from very low as a balloonist in the eyes of the jet pilots. Normally jet pilots, they put the standard in another place than the balloonist. So I have to fight sometimes to have my place. It's a big paradox, but it's like this.
Good flight, have a good flight.
Thank you, thank you. And thank you guys for what you're doing. I know nobody slept here. Some were lying under the wing of the plane between the snakes and the mosquitoes. I deeply appreciate what you're doing for this project. And we have Laurent Raymond, who is now singing new versions of Imagine. Imagine I have a passport. Imagine I have a stamp. Great, okay, I have to focus now on the preparation. So, underwear, sole heating cables set in boots, it's done. Schweineschwanz, lower part, c'est comme s'il demande si on a mis son pantalon. Heating soles, j'ai mes... Alors, pour les gants, c'est là.
Voilà, et tes gants sont là. Ils sont là, tes gants.
Ouais.
Voilà, ils sortent plus. Et puis tu as les autres gants.
SPO2 sensor cable put in flight suit, and it works. I have 100% SPO2. SPO2 sensor cable, sensor. Cuffs cable, they work. Flight suit close. Parachute life preserver. Trap 3 green, connector cables. Ok. On a les emergency pieces.
Ouais, le knife il est là.
Okay, aircraft preparation by ground crew, walk around. Cockpit preparation, Cypress activation line, mission parachute.
Yes.
Checked?
Checked and...
Manual opening line.
Yeah, checked.
Moi, il est... Faut aller le chercher... En fait, je dois prendre ça, je vais en arrière, je vais un peu derrière.
Voilà, ici. Là. Tu suis la blanche en fait. Tu suis la blanche. Voilà, ici.
Ah ouais.
Tu es pas dans le ça.
Oh, ils peuvent le laisser.
Pas qu'on l'oublie. Hein.
Ouais. Rudder pedals, check position, seek that tracks. Ça, je verrai après. Properly locked. Pilot interschwe, Schweineschwanz. Connect. Hein?
Ah oui.
Mission parachute harness. Alors, c'est quoi? Je vais resserrer un petit peu mes sangles pour le départ. Mertens, yellow, là, bon, on n'a pas besoin. InReach, mission parachute on. Tu me l'as mis on? InReach.
Oui, il est on. Ouais.
Ici, j'en ai un qui est tout le temps en marche là sur moi,
oui,
non?
Celui-là, oui. Celui-là, là, il est tout le temps en marche.
Celui-là, d'accord. Si je veux envoyer mes messages,
c'est ici.
c'est celui-là,
Oui.
c'est 1, 2 et 3,
Voilà,
mais
exact.
sinon j'ai rien d'autre à faire, il est en
Non,
marche.
il est en marche.
Very good. Emergency knife.
Il est ici.
J'ai le cut qui est là.
Voilà.
Sinon j'en ai un ici, mais je le mettrai dans ma combinaison après parce que sinon il est dessous.
Non, t'en as pas là.
Oui, oui, j'ai le gros.
Ah oui, t'as le gros. Ouais,
Le gros Victorinox.
Oui. Alors il est là. Hein.
Ouais.
Ouais.
Seat harness, put on,
Voilà.
emergency knife, cockpit ventilation. On va tout ouvrir là parce qu'il y a une cuffs function. Ça marche. Helmets, put on, adjust. Alors il faut les connecter maintenant nos. Alors, je vais mettre une. Alors, helmet, mic. Ça c'est le masque qu'on mettra après. Helmet phone. Ok, that's on. Long cable, store, wool tough. Wool tough, I see nothing. Hein. Il faudra que on essuie un peu le cockpit. Alors, SPO2 sensors and adhesive tapes, sternum. On a tout ça ici. Si jamais j'ai un doigtier ici. Hein.
Oui.
Spare lamp, glasses, j'ai, spare batteries, je pense pas que je vais en avoir besoin. Toolbox, elle va être ici, hein,
Voilà, oui.
dans la porte. Les coussins, le coussin que je vais mettre derrière. Il faut que je mette le gros coussin derrière ma tête, le gros machin.
Là,
Attends.
on a fini ensemble. Là,
On a fini ensemble?
Pour moi, oui.
Spare lamp, glasses, iPod, personal medication box. Alors, où est-ce que j'ai mes ponce-temps? Pourquoi j'ai pas de ponce-temps ici? Là, c'est bon. Oui,
Et puis tu as le prix aussi pour la nuque, hein, si jamais.
très bien.
Et tu as encore l'autre en arc-en-ciel, mais peut-être pas, mais
Ouais.
si jamais.
Mais ils vont être sous le siège, ou bien?
Non, je vais essayer de...
D'accord.
Ah, normalement, il est coincé, là.
Les documents ont été imprimés par...
Ouais,
Où sont les documents? Ils sont dans la
ils sont
porte?
dans la porte.
Le plan de vol?
Je vais chercher, il les a mis. Oui, il a mis les waypoints. Les waypoints sont bons. Et les documents, ils sont dans la porte. Hein. Il est où, Sam? Sam?
Samuel?
Ok.
Ok, activate. IBM, GGC, PayPal, CA, Sumag, CTG, Apago, F403 et Mandalay.
Je sais pas s'il faut. Il est où le pot? On fait la vitre. Tu vas mettre son pot? C'est sérieux.
Ok, ça marche. Outriggers. Alors maintenant on fait le electrical check. On est d'accord?
Je sais pas quand on lève ça. Non.
Non, ça les intéresse.
Ok, on oublie pas. Hein.
Alors, tu restes à côté? Alors, ok, j'éteins tout, hein.
Tout est dans le G3X et le GNS 420.
Alors, cockpit battery on. Et je dois avoir warning panel et horizon artificiel.
Si t'étais venu au briefing, Youn,
Comme one.
Il y a la clé du matériel, du véhicule où il y a le matériel.
Bon, mais ça on fera après. Comme cuffs check. Ils ont marché. Wake up timer. Je vais pas dormir. Cockpit battery off. Proper. Outer on. Ça va me donner le non-essential. Non-essential plus les essentials. Donc ça va me donner le seat pump qui marche. Ça va me feeder le DC3. Et le DC3 me donne aussi les essentiels. Donc j'ai aussi le warning panel. Et j'ai aussi l'horizon artificiel. Maintenant,
Oui.
feed. Alors maintenant, je mets ça sur le dos. Ça va me donner le 2 et le PMC. Standby horizon, warning panel, ça c'est bon. Main bus 1 is not powered. C'est juste.
Bertrand, est-ce qu'on...
Main bus 1 alt feed. Override. Alors quand je passe main 1 bus feed, je dois avoir le 1 et je dois avoir le MIC, c'est bon. Et je dois avoir Essential 1 and 2 who are powered. And by horizon warning panel. Main bus 2 check none. Outer off. Come back on all these things. Inner master switch on. Alors je dois avoir Standby Horizon Warning Panel, je dois avoir sur celui-là both displays, c'est juste. Non-essential, il n'est pas connecté, c'est juste. Outer Master Switch, Outer On. Je dois avoir Seat Pump, c'est bon. Battery On. Independent Display checked, PMC marche, MIC marche, warning light test. Alors là tout est bon et là tout est bon. Acknowledge. Back to cockpit preparation. Transponder.
On peut fermer la porte.
Attends. On va finir tous mes trucs là. Nano et Colibri sont checked.
Son check le nano.
Celui de droite,
Sam, nano colibri, c'est bon?
il est bon à droite?
Celui-là, là, j'appuie sur le bouton.
Sur le bouton tout en haut, je pense.
Non, mais
Celui-là.
Celui-là?
Ouais.
non, devant.
Ouais.
C'est allumé.
Il
Ouais.
s'est allumé, ouais,
Le
il est bon.
clignote, donc c'est bon.
C'est bon, ouais.
Alors, télémétrie. FTTX, pas. Iridium télémétrie. PC. Swisscom Satphone. Je suis sur Mic. Je suis sur Hot Mic. Et le ici, je le mettrai après. Alors, on va sur Mandalay, menu Activate Flight Plan, Activate Flight Plan, Enter, ok. Maintenant, ici c'est parfait, Golf, Golf, Charlie,
Ouais.
premier
J'aimerais
point,
bouger, Yannick, t'aimerais bouger.
d'accord, alors vous pouvez me fermer la porte.
Tu peux fermer la porte, je t'enlève ça. Hein.
Ouais, merci.
Tu fais qu'à le...
La bouteille de truc là. Tu sais quoi, j'ai ça. Je peux te donner ces lunettes, j'en ai trop de ces
Ok,
lunettes.
d'accord. Ouais.
Porte la porte, Nico. Oui, c'est sonné dans les camps. Si on bouge maintenant, oui.
C'était très ça.
Tu n'oublieras pas que je t'ai donné des lunettes. Oui,
Est-ce qu'on peut encore nettoyer un peu l'intérieur?
Ouais, on l'a fait. Il faut jamais aussi le temps sur la main. Ouais.
Mais pas en vélo.
Non.
Pas en vélo.
Pourquoi?
En piste.
Pourquoi?
Non, non, tu n'iras pas en vélo en piste.
D'accord.
Non, non, pas avec ton vélo en piste. Il y a des sans vélo électriques et toi dans ta voiture.
La fiche est
Oui. Ouais. Devant, c'est pour Lolo. Vas-y, ouais. Tu peux y aller.
Ja, là, ça va.
Oui, je suis là.
Avec plaisir. On a Axel, ensuite Kevin. Et où Kevin?
Cameras, can we be careful and watch ourselves, please?
Ouais, au début, moi je regarde. Il y a une Gilles, on fait deux, et puis on. Bien qu'il y ait deux personnes, on prenait deux bons là.
C'est vrai que tu peux quand une fois que l'avion sera parti à gauche sur le taxiway, il faut envoyer tous les journalistes dans nos deux voitures blanches qui sont là-bas. Et puis après on va remonter la piste, on en a pour un quart d'heure de taxi. C'est l'avion en piste. Hein? Pour la plus grande ça fait ça. Regarde, ils sont là, ils se touchent. Ouais. On fait comme on a dit. On rentre en piste, on remonte toute la terre. Ok. Yon, tu te décales, tu te mets la caméra. Yon, tu te décales. Yon, tu te décales. Vas-y, maintenant. Ouais, là. Juste là. Ici. Merci.
Niels, tu veux personne que tu es l'avion?
Non, pas à pied, ouais. On a les voitures blanches pour ça et après on pourra se positionner pour le décollage.
Media, you all have to go in the buses, please, and not walk with the plane.
lourd.
On commence normal.
Ouais, pas plus. Gardez l'axe, regardez au train.
Antoine, tu me reçois toujours à l'image?
bout là, on est encore en train de dévier là. Ok. Ok. On repart là, on repart.
Je suis à la tour et il me redemande, je pense que tu l'auras déjà dit, mais le...
Merci Antoine, copie.
Char avance. Ok. Avance Richard. rouge de la bagnole blanche, là, juste avant.
Alors Youn, si tu m'entends encore, je commence à te perdre, à avoir des images qui frisent et comme ça.
suis, puis je dézoome dès qu'il arrive à peu près là. Comme ça, dézoomer, puis je suis. Non, ça, je suis presque au zoom max là. Là, je suis au gain, là, je suis à 0 de gain. Tu veux que je monte un peu ou bien je peux monter un peu les gains. Je le fais là maintenant.
Non, attends. Je vais voir si Yo n'est potable.
Ouais.
Pour l'instant, ça va, mais enfin, les gars, ça reste pas trop.
Ça va? Ok.
Laisse comme ça.
Ok.
Sam. Je reste.
Sam, Samuel, on ferait les run-up.
Ouais, pour moi c'est bon.
Have to the car, it's the run up.
Daniel, tu te mets en gymnase. Donc, Nico, dans le coin.
Ouais, mais vous pouvez déjà rentrer dans. Ouais, ouais. Ceux qui sont prêts, ils peuvent déjà y aller. C'est pas ta question.
Oui, donc je reste. Donc, autrement, je vais faire un suivi. Je vais juste rester dans la voiture. Je laisse tout le monde.
On vient te rechercher.
Hein?
On vient te rechercher.
Moi, après, une fois au collège, on est sur le bord de la piste, mais c'est une voiture qui vient.
Je vais dire à la voiture.
Ouais.
On a le temps, si de décoller à 5h30, ça va encore 35 minutes.
Well, that lovely little song and dance routine shows you that we are still in India. We're in Varanasi now, and we are heading out shortly to Mandalay. Good morning, good evening, wherever you are. It is 11:34 GMT. That's 1:34 for us here at Monaco Mission Control, and 5:34 in Varanasi, and leg 4 is imminent. Bertrand Piccard is the pilot of this fourth leg, taking us from Varanasi in Uttar Pradesh through to Mandalay in Myanmar. So I won't be wearing this very much longer, this India patch, which we've had on for a while now. We'll be moving on to another country and a short stop in Mandalay before we head to China. And it just struck me a little earlier, we've actually, once this leg is underway, we will have been through a third of all our round-the-world flights, which is quite impressive. I have to say that these are all the relatively short flights. We've had the 13, 15-hour flights. It starts to get a bit serious after this. Once we get to Nanjing in China, then it's 5-day flights, 4-day flights, 3, 4, 5-day flights again, until we get to our end destination, Abu Dhabi, sometime between mid-July, late July. We'll just have to wait and see, because there is a long way to go yet. These flights are relatively easy for our team. Doesn't mean they are actually easy. It's in comparison to these big ones that we're all building up for, and every flight so far is a learning process on that way. And before we head to Bertrand Piccard in Varanasi, let me introduce you to a new member of our team, Martin Sijven, who is a cartoonist from Belgium, and he has been drawing non-stop since he arrived. Let's say hello to him. Hi, Martin. And we've got a challenge for Martin throughout this morning's Takeoff show. Martin is going to be drawing some topical pictures based on what happens in the show, and we will show this to you before we leave you just after Takeoff. There you go. That's just proof that they're drawing away now. He's already started, and so once Bertrand Piccard takes off, we will have some pictures from Martin, and pictures of what's happening around Solar Impulse as well. We've got a little roundup of some of his best images, and we'll show you that a bit later on. Takeoff today is scheduled for 1 a.m. That's 1 a.m. Monaco, and that is midnight UTC, or GMT, as we like to say in the UK. Well, we spoke to Bertrand Piccard earlier today as he was getting into the cockpit before they affixed the door to the cockpit. And here's what he said earlier on.
Did you manage to get a night?
Well, you know, I had to miss André's landing and went to bed. When we are having pit stops, it's not reasonable to make the landing of the friend and our own takeoff the next morning, so I went to bed at 8 o'clock.
Explain to us what happened.
And I followed a little bit on Twitter, because we have an incredible multimedia team, so I could follow that. And now André is still in bed, and we'll miss my takeoff. We have to do like that when we have a pit stop. The goal now is to be on mission mode, not on demonstration mode, you know. It's very, very different. But now the flight, today, that's really a flight I'm looking for. It's one of the most beautiful landscapes of the world. When you fly over the north of the Gulf of Bengali, you have the delta of the river, have an incredible coast, fly over Bangladesh, arrive to Myanmar, which is a country I love. And I landed there with Breitling Orbiter 2 when I made my second attempt to fly around the world with a balloon. Beautiful welcome, but a failure with a balloon. I hope this time it will be a successful arrival, because that's the goal. The goal is this time to land in Mandalay. And for the mission, a lot of things to do. We have to finish to certify the oxygen system, finish to certify the autopilot, to be completely cleared for the ocean crossings. And there will be some mission training, but very different from the test flight period. So I would say it's quite active. There will be a lot of things to do, and I hope I can enjoy the landscape, and I will not be completely focused on all the time on the task. But I have to make a good flight. also to show that the airplane works and that the pilot works. You know, I'm not a jet fighter pilot, and most of the people in the mission control and the test flight and the safety review board, they are all jet pilots. So sometimes I really have to prove that I'm able to do the things, because I start from very low as a balloonist in the eyes of the jet pilots. Normally jet pilots, they put the standard in another place than the balloonist. So I have to fight sometimes to have my place. It's a big paradox, but it's like this. Thank you, thank you. And thank you guys for what you're doing. I know nobody slept here. Some were lying under the wing of the plane between the snakes and the mosquitoes. I deeply appreciate what you're doing for this project. And we have Laurent Raymond, who is now singing new versions of Imagine. Imagine I have a passport. Imagine I have a stamp. Great, okay, I have to focus now on the preparation.
Bertrand Piccard, today's pilot, speaking to us a little earlier this morning. And if it's any consolation, Bertrand, I'm not a jet fighter pilot either, and neither are these cameramen, as far as I know. Neither is our cartoonist. See, some of us aren't jet fighter pilots. Bertrand Piccard, who will be taking off shortly, estimated departure time is midnight GMT, 1 a.m. here in Monaco, and that is 5:30 in Varanasi, taking off for Mandalay. The last flight was with our pilot André Borschberg, and it was just yesterday. It is a pit stop, after all. 2 flights back-to-back, as were our first 2 flights from Abu Dhabi to Amman and Amman to Ahmedabad. And that was a fairly uneventful flight. Well, that was the idea anyway, but we had plenty of unforeseen problems, things we weren't expecting at all. For a start, the flight was delayed by over an hour and a half, almost an hour and 40 minutes in fact, because there was one piece of paper missing for immigration, which meant that air traffic control wouldn't let us take off from Ahmedabad International Airport yesterday. So a bit of stress there. Second bit of stress, once the plane had taken off, Bertrand's passport had not been stamped, so he wasn't even allowed to leave to come to Varanasi. So we weren't entirely sure for a while if he was going to be piloting today. We'd already started to put in place a procedure whereby André Borschberg, after getting out of the plane yesterday, would have to be hopping back in today for a second round a little earlier than he'd expected. But luckily for him, that didn't happen. André, as we heard there, is in bed right now. He's not going to be there for the takeoff today. He does need to catch up on his sleep, but I'm sure he will be welcoming Bertrand on his arrival in a new country now, in Mandalay, in the Union of Myanmar, formerly known as Burma. And we will be there as well, of course, for the conclusion of this pit stop. And we can take you back now to that flight, André Borschberg's flight, the third leg from Ahmedabad to Varanasi. And here are the best pictures we have of that flight. Pictures of André Borschberg's arrival in Varanasi Airport just a few hours ago, in fact, for the third leg of the Solar Impulse round the world flight attempt. Bertrand Piccard is in the cockpit right now. Let's see if we can head to Varanasi International Airport right away. Let's just See if we can get any of the latest pictures from Solar Impulse 2, which is on the tarmac already. And at the moment, we're just waiting for our cameras to get in place. These are live pictures that you're getting from Varanasi. And there you go, there's a shot of the plane on the tarmac, just to prove it is actually there. And I can hear Bertrand Piccard communicating with the Mission Control Center here. The guy is just behind me. And at the moment, all indicators say that
Thank you very much, Raymond. Thank you.
takeoff will be as expected at midnight UTC, 1 a.m. for us here at the Monaco Mission Control, and 5:30 local time in Varanasi.
Hotel Bravo Sierra India Bravo. Copy Metroport Varanasi, time of observation 2330. Hotel Bravo Sierra India Bravo, say again please.
And we're going to stay with those images in Varanasi because we have just had word from Monaco Mission Control that takeoff is imminent.
Temperature 152.13,
So just to repeat, takeoff is imminent, earlier than expected, so stay with us. If you've just joined us, you are just about in time to see Bertrand Piccard take off,
Be aware of the wind.
leaving India,
He said 204,
heading to
so it's
Myanmar.
a crosswind. So, or you reconfirm. We are not sure if he said 1 or 4.
Yes, I have on the wool stuff, it's almost nothing.
And Solar Impulse from Monaco, about. We have a technical here.
Raymond, can you say again? You were broken because of the
Yes.
engine.
Stand by before departure. Stand by before departure. We have a small technical problem in MCC.
You're watching Solar Impulse TV. These are live images, and as you can see, we're having a bit of trouble. There we go, we're back again. We had a few transmission issues, but there you go. I can see flashing lights now, and in the foreground you can see one of our electric bikes that will be chasing after the plane. And if you are wondering why are there bicycles on there, this is in case the Solar Impulse plane has to abort takeoff. And as they go faster, these guys will be the first ones to catch up with the plane and stabilize it by literally holding on to the wings in order to make sure that the wings don't touch the ground if the plane becomes too unstable.
Monaco, vous avez réussi à comprendre le numéro de transmission? Report ready for departure. Hotel Bravo Sierra India Bravo, give me the transponder code again, please. Again? Speak slowly and give me the transponder code, please. Spot, confirm we want this spot. Yes, confirm. I want the scroll and speak slowly, please. Roger. Hotel Bravo Sierra India Bravo. Spot 3311. 3311. So, Hotel Bravo Sierra India Bravo.
And Bertrand from MCC, we are ready again. We had some computer trouble. Everything is fine now.
Okay, good. So I have all engines docked. All engines docked. I have slow warning. Everything is set. Let me just go on.
You're looking at Bertrand Piccard in the cockpit of Solar Impulse 2, going through final pre-flight checks
Bertrand, did you
for his
got
takeoff,
clearance
which
on
we've
86
just heard from Monaco is imminent.
Yes, but I have to ask it again.
He's clearly
Okay.
keen to get on with it.
Again, so I have to call him back.
We
And
didn't
that's
copy
Raymond
it.
Claire, the flight director here in Monaco, who is the main man here, the boss, the one who will give the final definitive go-ahead for Bertrand Piccard. Take off.
Mr. India Bravo, report requested level. Hotel Bravo, Sierra India Bravo, requested level 80. Initial. Roger, 80. 80, confirm. Victor Bravo, Sierra India Bravo, clearance. Victor Bravo, Sierra India Bravo, clear to Victor Bravo, Sierra India Bravo, clear to destination via Romeo 460, flight level 80. After departure, runway 27, climb on track. Hotel Bravo,
Oui,
Sierra India Bravo.
j'ai pas le son de l'MCC, hein, j'entends pas.
Initial flight level 80, climb on runway access. After 500 feet, return left with the step, radial 110 of the Varanasi VOR.
Je peux l'avoir?
Hotel Bravo, Sierra India Bravo, clearance correct, report ready. Hotel Bravo, Sierra India Bravo, can you give me clearance for departure? Hotel Bravo, Sierra India Bravo. Runway 27, clear for takeoff. Wind 190 degree 03 knots. Clear for departure runway 27, Hotel Bravo, Sierra India Bravo. Thank you. Welcome. Have a nice flight. Okay, Monaco, everything is looking good. I'm proceeding.
Roger.
As you just heard there, all clear to go, and Bertrand Piccard is on his way.
Main lift off.
And there you go, doesn't take long, in the air for the fourth leg. Blink and you miss it. 8 minutes earlier than expected. Bertrand Piccard is already off on his way, keen, I think, to get to Mandalay as quickly as he can. And that is goodbye to India for what has been a really interesting first big leg. Of course, we spent some time in Abu Dhabi, but the thousands of people who came to see us in India at Ahmedabad International Airport was a wonderful sight.
If they want me to turn left at 500 feet, I'm very low to turn, but I will proceed as cleared.
Everything is fine from our side in Monaco.
Okay, very good.
So you shouldn't turn before around 700, 800 feet sea level.
Okay, but I was free to turn at 500.
Yeah, it's due to obstacle. We wait until 500 feet ground.
Okay.
This is Solar Impulse TV Live, and we're watching Bertrand Piccard heading away, heading north away from Varanasi International Airport towards Mandalay.
Okay, we'll start to turn here. India, Bravo.
Well, this flight isn't expected to pose too many problems. Slight risk of jet streams to avoid south of the Himalayas. But again, nothing too complicated compared to the flights that these pilots have been through with this plane and the previous airplane, SIA. First prototype that took us across America and from Switzerland to Morocco and back. So we're just going to wait and wave the plane off.
Bertrand, you can turn left on track 090 to intercept.
090,
There you go, Bertrand Piccard on his way, and he will be landing in Mandalay later on this afternoon for us here in Monaco time, in the evening local time. It's going to be complicated again because we have another time zone to contend with from India Standard Time, which is 5.5 hours post GMT, or UTC as we say here, plus 6.5 hours. And then once we get to China, it's +8, so we'll be completely lost by then, I think. So we're going to try and keep a handle on it. I'm writing down 4 time zones at the same time for this. So as I was saying there, not an overly complicated flight, but there are still lots of factors to contend with. We have some highly trained expert mathematicians, flight strategists, who have to simulate what this flight is going to do and then calculate as the plane is actually flying against those models. Christophe Bezo is the head of that team, so we asked him earlier what we can expect from this leg 4 of Solar Impulse around the world.
For this second leg between Varanasi and Mandalay, we are currently working on the optimization of the flight profile so as to ensure the safety of the pilot in case of a solar generator failure. This is interesting because, as you know, we will cross the Bay of Bengal, and in case of such a type of failure, we will have to reach Mandalay only using the batteries. Because of the pit stop, we know that the initial state of charge of the battery at takeoff may be quite low. And this is a critical point if, in case of a failure of a solar generator, because as we will fly above the Bay of Bengal, alternates may be quite far. And in case of a failure, we are supposed to fly with the batteries to reach those alternates. So if we can ensure maximum energy at takeoff, we will maximize the safety of the aircraft, safety of the pilot. And it's exactly what I'm working on at the moment. The current solution maximizes the state of charge in the morning. So we have minimum 52%. We have increased, we have moved up the minimum. We had 32 initially, and working on the flight profile, working on the power used for the mission climb, we could optimize this minimum up to 52%, which is a good value, actually. What is really particular in this flight is that we intend to cross the summit of the mountains when we reach energy neutral evening. At this moment, we are supposed to reduce the altitude so as to save the energy in the battery. But we will have to maintain the initial altitude, flight level 200, so as to ensure a safe descent towards Mandalay. We will use a fast mission descent, and this will be really interesting to do.
Christophe Bezo, head of our flight strategy team, just taking us through some of the finer points of what we can expect from this flight, this fourth leg from Varanasi International Airport to Mandalay in Myanmar. And he will, of course, be following that flight with his team. The other person following the flight who we spoke to earlier is Martin, our cartoonist, who didn't get much time to get much drawing done, but let's see what he has managed. Martin. Let's see what we've got from Martin. There you go, he's just drawing in for us the picture of Varanasi to Mandalay.
Okay, I'll trigger.
And I think we've got... maybe we can see one of the other pictures that he managed to get done very quickly during this flight, during this pre-flight show, I should say. Can we see that? That's very good, Martin. I think we've got one more that we can show you. Some of the great cartoons from Martin Seiven, who's been a busy boy, hasn't he, since he joined us not that long ago. And there will be more from Martin today and throughout all of the flights of the Round the World tour. Bertrand Piccard took off a little earlier, around about 8 minutes before the scheduled time. And we can take a look at some of the best images of that takeoff right now. And it was just a few minutes ago, around about 10 minutes ago, when Bertrand Piccard took off. And look at that, you can see it's already leaving the ground after just a few seconds in the air. Look at that, it's incredible. This incredibly light plane, just 2.3 tons. Probably lighter than many of those cars that are following it. Yet with the wingspan of 747. Again, these images just taken just 10 minutes ago. I don't think Bertrand Piccard will be breaking any records this time around, although on his first flight he did break a record. The pre-defined distance travelled by a solar-powered airplane was broken on the second leg from Amman to Ahmedabad. These images filmed just a few minutes ago of Bertrand Piccard taking off from Varanasi and leaving India to head to Mandalay. And as we see the plane heading off, we're going to leave you for this takeoff show at the Monaco Mission Control, but we're going to keep you informed. There's going to be information being fed to you by our social media team throughout today's flight, and you will have the images live from the cockpit, what we call SATCOM, that's our satellite communication. We can see what Bertrand Piccard is doing right now, so you'll be able to follow that. And we've got a number of cameras around the plane. And as I said, there will be tweets, photos, videos fed to you via our Twitter feed and other social media networks. So goodbye from me for now. We're going to take a short break and we'll be back. It's just going to come around very, very quickly for the landing in Mandalay. And for the exact landing time, we don't know exactly yet, but we will have the information for you again on social networks. We'll give you a bit of an update. We'll be going live half an hour before the expected landing time. And there's so much more to show you that we didn't have time today of all of the information we've been gathering in so far. There's lots of fun stuff happening around this project, but we will bring that to you, as I said, half an hour before the estimated landing time. And we look forward to seeing you back then on Solar Impulse TV. See you soon.